we had our second to last non-conference match on Tuesday against a very good Northern Illinois team, and I was very proud of how our kids executed the game plan. We actually were able to hold their best attacker to a negative hitting percentage and still be able to contain some of their other hitters. So it was a very different offense than what we've seen all year. They run a lot of fast things, different areas of the net, and I was really proud. It was a hard thing for us to practice. It was really something that we had to make adjustments during the match, and I thought our kids did a really good job of executing our game plan. So very proud of them. We were able to beat a very good Northern Illinois team in 3. We headed to Loyola on Friday for our first conference match of the season, and obviously this is the meat of our season. This is what we've worked for the last 3 weeks to get prepared for our very tough conference schedule. Looking at it, obviously we have the goal of winning the regular season conference championship, and that all started on Friday. Loyola was a very young but very talented team. I don't know if they played a senior, but a very good team. Their best player was a freshman. They play in a great facility, so they're going to be a great addition to our conference. Our play was a little bit inconsistent. The defensive side is the area that I constantly talk about up here, being more consistent, and I do that mostly because I think our defense kind of feeds into everything else that we do. It seems like when we're doing well defensively, we kind of feed off of that in other areas of our game. So our defense was a little bit inconsistent on Friday night. We weren't executing well at times on the things that we were supposed to be doing, and just our overall, I think, attitude on defense was inconsistent. So that's something we definitely need to work harder at, is being more consistent in that area. But we were able to win our first conference match in 4, so that was a huge positive. Some of the other things that we need to continue to work on, we've had a little bit more unforced errors than we would like to see as coaches. We work really, really hard for the points that we get, and then we give up a lot of points that are very easy in our mind. Knowing when to go for it attacking, we look at when our attackers put the ball over the net. There's 3 situations. You either go for it, go for the kill. You're in a situation that you can go for the kill. You're in a situation that, you're not going to be able to go for the full kill, but we got to stress the defense out. Or it's just a situation where we need to get the ball over. And we haven't done a great job of that, deciding and knowing what situation we're in. And unfortunately, that's allowed us to have a little bit more unforced errors than we need to have. And the hardest part is like I said, you work so hard for the points you get, and then we give up some very easy balls. So working on that will be a huge thing for us. I think that's very controllable on our side. The biggest thing, though, is getting the experience and those kids being in that position and knowing what to do in those situations. So that will be a big focus for us. Heading into this week, it will be one of the biggest conference weeks for us this weekend, in terms of we're bringing 2 of the top teams, Wichita State and Missouri State, to town, and both of those teams have scheduled a very challenging preseason non-conference schedules. Both of them have done very well, and both will be very good coming into this weekend. We have Wichita on Friday. They are a Sweet 16 team from last year. They have 5 starters returning, and 4 of those are seniors, so obviously a very veteran, a very experienced team. They're playing very well right now. They're 11-3. All 3 losses have come to top-ranked teams. They just played a really good match against Hawaii this past weekend, who's in the top 10, and ended up losing, but a very good match. Got a chance to see that match. So very good competitive team that has played a lot of great competition. I think when you look at them, they will be the most physical team in our conference for sure, and they will be the most balanced team that we have played all year. And I've talked a lot about different teams being balanced, but Wichita, if you look at their stat line, every single one of their attackers, including their setter, has about the same amount of kills. So they don't have one kid that they go to all the time. When they're in system, I talked to Kirsten, who also played them. She's the Creighton coach. She basically said they're lethal. So that's a very scary word to me, lethal. But when they're in system, they're as good as anybody in the country. So a very good team. They also have a very good block. The other thing that will be very different for us is their setter, Chelsea Feakin, is over 6 foot tall, a lefty. She not only makes great decisions to get her hitters one-on-one, but she is very offensive herself. And we have not seen anybody of that type this year yet. So somehow we're going to try to have to practice that a little bit and practice to try to defend her, because she will be very active and wants to be involved in the offense, and that's part of what makes them good offensively. Defensive-wise, they're a really big blocking team, so obviously us being in system will be a big part of our success as well. turn around and play Missouri State, who's also similar to Wichita in terms of very balanced offensively. Defensively, they're very scrappy. Obviously, we're not going to put a lot of emphasis on Missouri State right now. That's the hard part about this weekend. You have two teams that you know you're going to have to prepare for in different ways, but we're not going to get a lot of opportunity to do that for Missouri State until our match is over on Friday. We want our kids, focusing on one match right now, and that's the Wichita State match. So a tough week of practice for us. We practiced a little bit on Sunday because we had Saturday off. So we're just going to be practicing probably shorter amounts every day this week to have an opportunity to figure out how we're going to defend both Wichita State and Missouri State. So we definitely could use the support. I really feel our crowd gives us a few points, and we're going to need a few points this weekend. So I really appreciate the support coming out for a very big weekend in terms of the conference race for us. Any questions?